Yo,
Je t'aime, Milanese.
what up with y'all? It's your boy M. Dot. You already know we back here with another. You feel me? And as y'all can see by the thumbnail, by the title, we back here with another scary random day. Random scary day. I think that's what we're gonna call it because it's random. It's a scary day. Feel me? Other than that, so the title of this one is Three True Obsessions with Horror Stories Anime. It just came out 2 days ago. So, yep, 2 days ago. So I'm saying we're gonna get up on this. We're gonna watch it. Know what I'm saying? And yeah, just make sure you like, comment, subscribe, go grab y'all something to eat, go grab y'all a snack. Let's get straight into the video.
Hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the knife as I stared, stunned. Please, Jacob. Nate rasped. His bloody fingers weakly clawed the kitchen tiles, trying to reach me. Just say the words before they get here. The sirens outside were getting louder by the minute, but I was frozen in the middle of my kitchen. The knife in my hand dripped his blood. It splashed everywhere. I
Hold on.
I opened.
You gotta go back.
Me.
It's 2 months that just happened and the story just started.
My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the knife as I stared, stunned. Please, Jacob. Nate rasped. His bloody fingers weakly clawed the kitchen tiles, trying to reach me. Just say the words before they get here. The sirens outside were getting louder by the minute, but I was frozen in the middle of my kitchen. The knife in my hand dripped his blood. It splashed everywhere. I opened and closed my mouth, staring at my old high school friend, clutching his wounded gut on the floor. He used the last of his strength to push the little twig toy toward me and begged, please.
Well, I know I keep restarting this, but we gotta go back. I keep
So
like
hard,
losing focus. Hold on, I don't know why I keep
My
doing
hands
that.
were shaking so hard I almost dropped the knife.
Bro, the story started like this. Like that is crazy. The story just started like this. You know what I'm saying? It just started like this.
I stared,
Like,
stunned.
already with the knife. Like, crazy.
Nate rasped. His bloody fingers weakly clawed the kitchen tiles, trying to reach me. Just say the words before they get here. The sirens outside were getting louder by the minute, but I was frozen in the middle of my kitchen. The knife in my hand dripped his blood. It splashed everywhere. I opened and closed my mouth, staring at my old high school friend, clutching his wounded gut on the floor. He used the last of his strength to push the little twig toy toward me and begged, please, one wish. That's all I ask. 72 hours ago, I didn't even know Nate Calloway was still alive. How I desperately wished I still didn't. I'd known him since Westview High, back when I was 15. We weren't exactly tight friends, but we hung out at after-school parties and played baseball together. Honestly, I always thought he was a total weirdo.
Bro, look like
After
a weirdo.
graduation, he dropped out of Columbus State after one semester, and I totally lost track of him. That Saturday evening, I walked into the Fox and Hound for a beer after work, and found him sitting at the end of the bar. He waved. I waved back,
yeah, bro,
and 15
like
minutes later, we were catching up on life. Honestly, it was pretty cool at first, but after the second round, things got weird. Jacob, I need to show you something. He reached into his jacket and pulled out this small toy in chewing gum-like packaging. Nate said something about making a wish and snapping the thing in half so the wish would be granted. What the hell is this? He said it was the One Wish Willow, and that it was real. I started cracking up, but my laughter died when I saw how dead serious he was. Nate, bro, I need a favor, Jacob. If anything goes down, I need you to snap that and wish that I never get caught. I figured he was wasted, or maybe pranking me, but then he explained why he needed it. 6 days earlier, Nate had walked into the Midwest Federal on Broad Street. handed a note to a teller, and walked out with $63,000 in a duffel bag. He'd been bouncing between motels ever since, totally convinced the cops were on his ass. This twig was his only backup plan. I put my glass down, feeling disgusted forever knowing this man. You're a federal criminal. Look, you can take a share. Share? You dumb, all right? I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear any of that. I settled my tab, grabbed my keys, and bailed. By the time I got to my place, Nate was already sitting on my porch. I completely freaked out and livid at the same time. Ignoring him, I walked right past and was about to slam the door, but he shoved his way inside before I could stop him. He started talking a mile a minute, saying the cops had his license plate number and they'd find him any day now. He kept waving that stupid willow stick in my face. Just say the words, Jacob. 2 seconds. I'm not asking you to do anything else. Get out of my house, Nate. I shoved him. He stumbled, and before I could even blink, he pulled out the knife.
You shouldn't shove
I
the
backed into my
psychopath.
bedroom, and he kept coming, shoving that stupid willow stick in my face, until I finally cornered me in the kitchen. I'm already wanted for 1 crime, Jacob. 2 won't make a damn difference. Do it. Suddenly, a siren started wailing way off in the distance. Nate got distracted for a second, and I lunged for the knife. He tried shaking me off, and we both crashed hard into a chair, taking it down with us. I barely had a second to breathe before he was on top of me. I grabbed his wrist and tried to pry his grip open, but he was stronger than I expected. His arm bent inward, and the blade was only inches from my chest. I panicked and yanked his hand as hard as I could. The knife clattered onto the tile right next to my head. Before he could lunge for it, I snatched it up and jammed it into his gut. He gasped, rolled over, and collapsed, clutching his wound. His blood was everywhere, and he was screaming. I was frozen. My heart was pounding. The sirens cut out right near my place. I could hear them more clearly now. Please, Jacob. Nate sobbed, grabbing my leg. When I still refused, he used his last bit of adrenaline and lunged. Grabbing the knife off, he pointed it right at me. Do it, now, or I swear to God. I was completely panicked, but the cops were closer. I hurriedly scooped up that stupid twig off the tile and said, I wish Nate never gets caught. I snapped the thing in half. Nate's eyes went wide. He looked relieved. Ignoring him, I lurched toward the hallway to get to the cops. He tried cutting me off from the front door. I shoved him away hard. He stumbled backward and caught the edge of the counter with the back of his head and went down. He didn't get back up. The police came through the front door 2 minutes on. He stumbled backward and caught the edge of the counter with the back of his head and went down. He didn't get back up. The police came through the front door 2 minutes later. They found Nate on the floor and a duffel bag in his car with banded bills, and me standing in the kitchen with a broken twig in my fist and blood on my hands. It took me a while to piece together what had actually happened. Nate never got caught because he was already dead before they walked through that door. The wish was granted exactly as he'd asked for it. The DA cleared me 6 weeks later, after I told them it was self-defense. The bar footage helped, as did the reports that confirmed my injuries matched those of someone who hadn't started the fight. I still have the 2 halves of the willow in a Ziploc bag in my kitchen drawer, right next to where Nate fell.
Why you still
I
got
keep
it?
telling myself I'm going to throw them out. I just couldn't bring myself to touch them.
Let me go, Mark. Please.
You know I love you too much for that. I'm just trying to keep you safe. He giggled. I wiggled in the chair and twisted my wrists. Sobbing, I fought the zip ties digging into my skin, but the plastic had already cut through in one spot, and I could feel the warm blood against my palm. It didn't bother the guy I'd been married to for 7 years, though. Mark crouched down, tilted his head, and blew a strand of hair off my face. He was grinning ear to ear. I know it hurts, but I can't ever let you leave, Mom. We're forever, remember? He reached up to tuck my hair behind my ear. My 37-year-old husband had never acted like this. He used to be a good husband and regular grown-up until 4 months back I made this whole nightmare happen. Mark and I met 10 years ago in grad school and started dating, and 2 years after I graduated, he proposed. We got married in his hometown of Miami and built a life together since then.
Bro,
But a couple of years ago, our marriage
see that?
started falling apart. We'd fight over the stupidest things, like how hot his eggs were supposed to be. Mark started coming home late, and I buried myself in work. On our 6th anniversary, I found out about Diane. When I confronted him, he didn't even try denying it. I like her, Stacy. It's time you get that there's no us anymore.
Bro,
I think it's time we go our separate ways and do what makes us happy. I tried defending our marriage. He said he'd already made up his mind. The argument got so loud that he hurled his phone across the wall and stormed out. I spent the rest of the night crying by the fireplace until I couldn't anymore. Around 2 in the morning, I noticed this grocery bag sitting by the fireplace that I didn't remember even bringing in. I'd grabbed it, hoping it'd have some snacks. Instead, I found a small toy that looked like a bundle of dried twigs tied with twine. It had a tiny hand-painted face near the top. I turned it over and found a folded paper tag attached to it.
One wish
I'm a
will make a
one-wish
wish.
willow. Make a wish, snap me in half. Your wish will be granted.
It read, I was exhausted and heartbroken, and I wasn't thinking straight. I held it with both hands and wished to be a mom, figuring if we had a kid, Mark would stick around.
Whoa.
Then, I snapped the thing in half.
That was.
The next morning, Mark woke me up with a hug harder than he had in forever, said he was sorry and he wasn't going anywhere. I was totally thrilled. I seriously thought that magical willow had worked wonders. We spent the whole day shopping and watching movies. Mark kept telling me how much he loved me. That evening, we were in the kitchen when he asked if we had any more chocolate syrup.
Yeah, honey. Here you go.
Thanks, Mom. I froze. I stared at him, waiting for him to crack up, but he was too focused on decorating the pancakes. I brushed
Why
it
bro
off,
keep saying
figuring it
thanks,
was just a
Mom,
slip of the
though?
tongue, but it kept happening. My husband started behaving like a kid. Weeks later, and started looking for answers online. Every forum thread and post I found said the same thing. A wish, once made, could not be undone, and the willow grants wishes literally rather than as intended. I had wished to become a mother so Mark wouldn't leave, and I had. Honestly, I felt terrible for doing it to Mark, so I tried
Listen,
sticking
she-
by, but he was
a
getting
mother,
worse by the
man.
minute.
Oh, man.
He wouldn't eat, sleep, or breathe unless I was right there. If I ever tried to set a boundary, he'd turn violent. I tried everything I could think of to break this curse or whatever it was. We even saw a shrink who suggested it might be best if Mark took a little break from me. So,
Mark
last
ain't going
week,
like
while he
that.
was glued to a soccer game, I finally packed a bag and tried living. I had a plan to crash at my friend Karen's place, and I made sure to stick those 2 broken pieces of the willow in my coat pocket. I was too scared to leave them behind. I was tiptoeing my way out of the kitchen when a soft sob stopped me in my tracks. You were seriously going to leave without even saying bye? Moms don't bail. I turned to find Mark sitting in the dark, clutching Karen's address from my nightstand. Before I could even blink, he tackled me to the floor. I tried fighting back, but he zip-tied my wrists to a chair. I tried talking some sense into him.
I got
I
you.
even showed
I'm
him
on-
the broken willow,
After
but he
Shay, after I finish the you know what I'm saying, after I finish the video, I got you. After I finish these videos, I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna send you a text and I'll let you know. Right after I finish these videos, I got you, bro. I got you.
totally blocked it out. All he kept saying was that we'd be together forever.
Cool.
I was his mom, and only death could
bet.
separate us. The willow is still in my pocket. My stupid wish is granted perfectly. I got to be a mom, but instead of having a kid, my cheating husband became one. I still don't know if I'd ever be able to break this curse, or I'll end up trapped for the rest of my life with this possessive, childlike version of the guy I used to love.
Turning the ass like the
Eve
second or third ass.
Online is a
Alright, last story,
The handcuffs cut into my skin as the cop yanked me forward.
Keep moving, kid.
She hissed. Everyone cleared my path while I walked right through the middle with officers and teaching staff all around me. By the time we hit the main corridor, the bell had rung, and the entire school was moving to watch me get arrested. Hundreds of kids poured out of class with their phones up. Girls were gossiping about me. Boys were checking me out. All those camera clicks were bouncing off the walls. Every single person in that place was staring. Attention was exactly what brought me here. I just never thought it would end up wrecking my life like this. I had been a ghost at Hargrove Hive since the day I had joined it. Until the freshman year, Viola Matthews showed up on an exchange program. She was a French exchange student who was already low-key TikTok famous back home. In a week, she built her clique and started trashing people in front of the popular crowd.
Oh, she
By
drunk.
week 2, I was one of her favorite targets. It started with her trashing my sneakers one day, and then my outfit the next. Since I didn't fight back, she moved right on to criticizing my body. The day I worked up the guts to tell her to quit it, or I was going to report her, she looked at me, scrunched her nose, and said,
Honestly, I can't tell if you're actually a pig or trying to method act for a farm movie. Someone open a window. The stench is tragic.
Her clique started snickering, and I bolted for the library before anyone could see my face. After that, I went out of my way to avoid her. It was never the kind of stuff a teacher would catch, but her comments were mean enough to sting. 2 days before the cops came for me, I was heading to my usual spot in the back for lunch, trying to stay under the radar. I had my tray loaded with red sauce pasta and chocolate milk. Out of nowhere, Viola pivoted and slammed into me so hard that the whole tray flipped, drenching my pink blouse in sauce and milk.
You would have had to throw in.
For a second, the whole cafeteria went dead silent before the place exploded. Her friends started laughing and clapping.
I'm throwing hands.
When I
for
finally
everybody.
found my voice and told her she needed to apologize, she rolled her eyes.
I'm
Don't
throwing
be
hands.
so dramatic. You should thank your stars you gotta touch me. Just do us all a favor and delete yourself already.
Oh yeah, I'm
The
throwing
tray
hands.
slipped from my numb
Throwing
fingers and clattered onto the floor, sending the rest of the pasta flying. Without waiting for the next laugh, I turned and bolted, pushing through the
Oh,
double
yeah,
doors
throwing.
and sprinting straight out of the building. I didn't stop until I made it outside. I started walking aimlessly, with tears streaming down my face. Suddenly, I ended up in front of this old antique shop on Collier Street. The guy behind the counter looked like he was in his 70s, with white hair and a really calm vibe. He saw me and waved me inside.
Bro, you got
He
no
asked
teeth.
what I was looking for. We got to talking, and I vented about how tired I was of being in the shadow and how I wished I could change it. He kept nodding and handed me a little bundle of dried twigs tied
there we
together.
go with the
It had a
twigs
tiny
breaking
face
it.
painted on it and a little handwritten tag attached. It's a one-wish willow. Snap it in half after making a wish, and your wish will be granted.
How much?
Only $4. I paid and took it home. After dinner, I sat on my bedroom floor and thought about exactly what I wanted.
I want to walk through hallways and have people stare at me. They should pull out their phones and click snaps. I should be all they could talk about for months.
No.
I snapped the willow
Wrong
and went to
thing
sleep.
to say. That was the exactly
The next
wrong thing
morning
to say.
started off like any other day. I sat through my first 2
didn't mess
classes,
up.
waiting for something big to happen, but nothing did. I was honestly starting to feel like a total idiot for blowing $4 on a bunch of sticks. Just then, I caught people whispering behind my back.
She ran out crying in the rain over stupid pasta. I mean, all she had to do was wash or change. She's such a loser.
When I heard them laughing, I snapped. I was so done. I was seeing red, and I knew I had to teach that girl a lesson.
That's
I
right now,
waited
son,
until the
throw
gym
hands.
period was over. Viola was always one of the first to hit the showers, which gave me maybe 10 minutes. I slipped into the locker room, found her locker, and spotted her shampoo bottle in the wire basket. I grabbed it and poured the entire bottle of bleach I'd swiped from the chem lab right inside. By 5th period, Viola was in the nurse's office. By 6th, she was getting loaded into an ambulance. She had a seriously severe burn all over her body. The ER claimed her condition was critical. Within an hour, the security team pulled the locker room footage. The secretary called me out of AP English before the final bell, and I was immediately detained. The news broke a commotion amongst the students. By the time we made it to the main exit, the crowd was ready to swallow us. Every phone was up. Every moment of my head was being filmed. I could see people putting in captions and posting. The police car was at the curb alongside my parents'. The officer opened the rear door and guided me in, and before it closed,
Shed,
I got
she
one last
drug,
look at the
bro.
crowd.
If you
There
still here,
wasn't
she
a single
drug,
face
like,
turned away. Every eye at Hargrove High was on me. My name was already trending on 3 different apps before I'd even reached the station. The wish worked out perfectly. I just forgot there's more than one way to be the most talked about girl in school, and I'd gone and picked the worst one.
Alright. So I get the first one. The first one right off the bat, I ain't gonna lie, that's probably one of the best, like, at least IMR Scary Tales. So I'm giving that one a 9 out of 10. Second one, I'm giving that one 8.5 out of 10. And the third one, I get that one like a 6.5, 7 out of 10. Yeah, but no, they was good. But I don't really got much else to say today other than make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Enjoy y'all weekend. I'm saying, hope this video made y'all day better. Hope it, you know what I'm saying, give y'all a little something to watch. Feel me? I know my last upload was a little late, my bad, but this upload gonna be on time. So just make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And I see y'all boys and gals in the next video. Your boy M. Dot out.